Lasting from about 1820 to 1900, the Second Industrial Revolution was closely associated with steel, chemicals, electricity, and oil. Iron and steel were initially in high demand to run factories and supply armies. As innovative ideas were put into place, steel was being produced cheaply and efficiently. By 1860, Great Britain, France, Germany, and Belgium produced approximately 125,000 tons of steel. By 1913, they produced nearly 32 million tons. Although Great Britain started out dominating the revolution, the economic gap between Britain and the rest of the continent narrowed, as France, Germany, Belgium, and later Russia rapidly expanded their heavy industries. The further east the Industrial Revolution spread, the faster the process occurred, as innovations in technology could be copied, purchased, or reproduced, rather than invented and developed. Additionally, the further east it spread, the more the government was involved, fearing that they would fall behind their rivals. The Industrial Revolution had many social, economic, and political impacts, all of which will be discussed through this documentary, Real Steel.
Oh boy, I sure am glad to be moving to the city now. My cousin's grandfather's second cousin's wife was telling me about all the great opportunities in the cities these days. Now, that's why I'm on my way to London. It's been a really long walk though. It's really interesting that all these houses are being built here. There's no smoke though. My relative was telling me about the smoke in the city, and the stench too. Apparently, until recently, it smelled horrid in the city, and there was all sorts of filth in the streets. I also heard that it used to be crowded. That's strange though, because there really aren't that many people here, and the houses are nice and big, it smells fine, and no one is really working that much. I guess London has changed a lot since my cousin's grandfather's second wife's cousins got here. Oh, hello there, young man. You look lost and tired from your trip. You look like you need a drink. Oh, I can accept that, kind lady, but thank you so much. I do have a question though. Am I in London yet? No, this is only the suburbs. London is still a few miles onward, but I insist. Please come. I will give you some food and water to drink. If you insist. Thanks once again. Your house is so beautiful. What are those things shining on the ceiling? Oh, you're so funny. This is called electricity. In our day, this is common knowledge. Can you tell me more about it? This is incredibly interesting. Well, to start off with, electricity has changed our everyday life completely. It is the single most versatile and transportable source of power. It helps our factory and our home life. For some history, the first plant was constructed in 1881, right here in our home country, Great Britain. Because of this valuable invention, we have electric poles and generating stations all over Europe. I think electricity has been extremely beneficial to everyone in the cities and suburbs. That's good to know. And thank you so much for your hospitality. I'll be on my way now. Bye! Hey there, how are you today, sir?
Hey, puppy! I'm part of the growing, prestigious working class and working great in the great steel factories of Paris. Lately, there's been a boom in steel production, as you can see, and more is being produced cheaper than ever, and selling and growth is simply off the charts.
Why is there such a boom in the steel industry? Can we attribute it to any particular reason?
As a matter of fact, we can. Thanks to the great Henry Bessemer of our country creating the Bessemer process, we are able to produce steel faster and more efficiently and cheaper than ever before. More people are being called to work because production is off the scales, and the steel industry is exponentially growing.
So what do you think the significance of this is? Can you see any potential impacts?
Well, with the Bessemer process, more steel will be able to be produced. This will lead to more steel goods being produced. As a result, more cars, trains, and railroads will be able to be made, creating a better infrastructure which will help improve our transportation and trade, helping to further increase and better the economy of our great country. Steel is very important, and the ability to produce even more will help our country in more ways than we can even ever imagine.
Wow, steel is really important. Who knew that steel could play such a huge part in bringing a country together?
Indeed. Anyways, I'm getting late for my shift to the factory, so I shall be on the way. See you later, puppy.
As I approach London, the streets look cleaner than I ever imagined. This must be due to the sewage system that was implemented a few years ago. I wonder how the idea was originally developed and what steps it took to finally implement it. Oh, hello, government worker.
Come hither.
What is this?
This is a sewage system. After the cholera epidemics in the 1830s and 40s, there was a growing concern for sanitation in the cities, and people like Edwin Chadwick helped to reform the law to improve sanitary conditions and public health. Soon, the water and sewage systems we know of today gradually developed and became the greatest health and engineering achievements of the century. Wherever these facilities were installed, the mortality rate dropped considerably, helping people of all classes.
Oh, thank you for the insight. I'll be on my way now.
Are you tired of using your legs? Do you have trouble getting to places? Do you like people seeing you roll? Then get a bicycle today. With the newly designed metal frame, solid rubber tires, and chain drives, you can get around with ease. People all over the world are experiencing this new phenomenon, and you should too. For only £49.95, you can start rolling. If you order in the next minute, you'll also get a free trouser to keep your modesty while riding. For more rolling experience, try the automobile for only 20 times the price. Before you know it, you'll be cruising down the roads at 8 miles an hour. It's a limited time offer only. Nausea and motion sickness occur while riding, and bicycle co is not responsible for any damage that is made. If your car breaks down, car co is not responsible for any repairs or compensation. Gas not included. Risk of death or other serious injury may occur. Thank you.
Wow.
1, 2, 3, go.
And today we are interviewing the man who changed it all with his new and improved engine, Mr. Gottlieb Diamond. How are you on this fine day?
Very well, thank you.
We are here to discuss your engine. Can you please tell us more about it?
Actually, it is a modern combustion engine. The older one had many significant flaws, which I have addressed in my new and improved Gottlieb engine, which powers automobiles, a revolutionary new way of transportation. The engine is the first of its kind and powers the automobile through petroleum.
How does the engine work?
The gasoline is burned inside, and as the gas is generated from the combustion, it pushes a piston, which powers the engine and drives it forward.
And what do you think is the significance of your engine?
While it may seem large and expensive and impractical now, I hope that eventually we'll be able to get one of these automobiles with my engine in the garage of every German citizen. The prospects will be limitless with this new form of transportation. People could go wherever they like faster than ever before and anytime they wanted. It could also be used to move and transport goods and foods over land faster than ever before. It also has the potential to connect and unite the citizens of our great country. As you can see, there's a lot that can be done with my invention, and I hope that we are able to get this far because my invention can change it all.
Wow, that certainly is a lot. We look forward to hearing more about you and your invention and the success it will have. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Gottlieb Dimer.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
The socioeconomic impacts of the Second Industrial Revolution in 1 minute. Due to increased productivity of machines, fewer workers were required to perform the same task, and thus unemployment rates increased. However, many industries began to flourish and utilize the inventions of improved methods of steel and iron production, which formed the basis for more inexpensive industrialization. The most significant change in industry was the application of electrical energy to production. It was an economic boom in industry. Inventions like electricity set the scene for further inventions, utilizing them, and so on. In this way, small changes and advances in technology had a ripple effect throughout the continent. Due to the fact that prices of raw materials fell as well as wages, real wages generally remained steady and even increased throughout the continent. As these wages became higher, the reliance on a second income was lessened, and thus the need for wives of middle-class status to work was greatly reduced. This was a key change that led to a series of developments in the status of societal production of women throughout the late 19th and early 20th century. This speaks to the change in class structure, as the role of women decreased while the wealth of the upper middle class could now surpass that of even the aristocracy. The stage was set for the struggles and successes of the 20th century, and that is 1 minute.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dave Copperfield. Thank you for participating in this interview. So, tell me a bit about yourself.
My pleasure. So to begin with, I am nothing more than a lowly laborer in London, England. I used to work in a factory. Although the pay was little, life was still tolerable.
And how is life now? The Second Industrial Revolution must have really changed things for you and your family.
It most definitely has, and I wish I could say it changed for the better. Before 1870, my job was relatively secure. However, the Industrial Revolution brought about better living standards and lower prices on goods, which hurt us laborers a lot. I have to admit, though, that the revolution has helped in aspects such as sanitation. In the 1860s, the Metropolis Water Act brought about laws for the regulation of water supply. Even though infection and disease were far less common, our jobs were now replaced by machinery. My livelihood was gone, and now my family is in shambles.
I'm so sorry to hear about that. I wish you the very best in the future. And thank you for giving us your take on things.
Public health report in 30 seconds. In the report on sanitary conditions, Edwin Chadwick explains the need for reform on sanitation. He addresses that without a proper sanitary system, the lives of many are at risk. The diseases that are caused by atmospheric impurities cause more deaths and wounds than in modern war and tend to produce an adult population that is short-lived, reckless, and intemperate. It is because of Chadwick and several other reformers that the initial movement for providing cleanliness to the major cities of Europe began, and with the acceptance of the bacterial theory of disease at the close of the century, there were increased public concern about cleanliness. This led to much cleaner cities, public health acts, as well as lower mortality rates all around.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Alan Ainsworth. Can you please answer a few questions about yourself? Let's start off with an easy one. Can you please tell me about yourself, your family, and your life, and how it has changed because of the Second Industrial Revolution?
Well, I am fairly well off, to be honest, as a banker. The revolution has affected me positively and negatively, but overall I think it was beneficial to my family. In 1873, there was a downfall because my bank failed and the capital investment slowed. I was able to get back on my feet within 2 years, which was a short amount of time compared to some of my colleagues who took more than a decade. Due to the new industries producing consumer goods, the economy got out of depression. Also, the food prices lowered considerably, which allowed us to buy excess goods, once again stimulating the economy, and in turn, it helped my bank.
I'm glad to hear that the revolution has benefited you. Thank you for your time.